Hello and welcome to a new video for the channel. This time we are going to see how to connect the CompactLogix with a Wago 750366 module. The model of our PLC is the L18ERBB1B. But if you have a different model that is also programmed with Studio 5000 or RSLogix 5000, this video will also be helpful for you. Currently, we have this Wago input and output system. First, we have our Ethernet IP coupler 750366 on the left side. Then we have the following modules: 750430, which is an 8-digital input module. Next, 750530, an 8-digital output module. And finally, we have the final module, which is important to place within our Wago system. And here, see the wiring. Here we are going to connect the sensor for the inputs. In this case, as you can see, it is on, which means it is detecting. And we're going to connect the tower light. We will see it later, but just so you can visualize what we're going to do. Here we have the electrical connection of our Wago module, our coupler. Important, as we saw in a previous video. At the top, we have 24 and 0 volts, the two terminals. Then, a little further down, we have two terminals of 24. Another 2 of 0 volts, and another 2 for reference or ground. And this is for powering the bus. That is, to power the cards we will be placing. The 75043 cover, the one with 8 digital inputs, this is the sensor we are going to use. This is the pin out. We have 1 and 3, which are 24 and 0 volts respectively. And then we will use pin 4 to connect it to one of these inputs and monitor them in our PLC. Also, this is the indicator I mentioned. It has 3 colors. Here are the 3 cables. This is the pin out, the wiring, and we are going to connect it to 3 outputs of our card to activate different colors. Finally, we will do the communication as follows. We have an Ethernet switch. We will connect an Ethernet cable to each of the ports for the Wago, for the PLC, and for the computer. Okay? Well, I will also show you how to obtain the EDS of this equipment, how to install it in our Studio 5000, and then how to establish the communication. Okay? Well, I invite you to watch the next video. If you are not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and also, if you can, visit the official page of the channel. Little by little, we will be uploading content, and it is mainly the support material for what we are doing in the videos. Okay? Let's get started. Well, here we already have the equipment connected. As you can see, they are already powered and are communicating via Ethernet. Now, the next step is to obtain the EDS file. Let's go to your trusted search engine. Here we will enter the model of our coupler 750366. We will go to this section, Device Files, and we will press this button. If you notice, I already had it. Let's go here to Show in Folder. We can cut it. Here I'm going to select Cut, and you move it to a folder that you are going to create. In this case, I'm going to put it in this one. If you notice, I already had it here. I'm going to delete it. And here you just paste it and extract it as well. What's inside? Well, there are the EDS files of other models, and this is the one we're interested in. Now also, if you would like a little documentation, you can go here to this window. Here we go. Fieldbus coupler Ethernet IP. We press this button. Then we open it. And here, it's simply to complement the information we will see next. We are going to create a new project in Studio 5000. Here's the new project. We select the model of our PLC. Here I will put Wago. Next, 0 modules, and we click on Finish. We just have to wait for it to start. Well, here it has already created our project. The first thing we are going to do is install the EDS. Let's go here to Tools, EDS Hardware. Let's click Next. We are going to register only one file. We look for it in the folder where we had placed it. For example, here it was in Codesys, Practices. And here it is. It's important to select the model we are using, 366. next, 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 and finally, finish. Now, we are going to go here to Ethernet, new module. And here we are going to write WAGO. Here is WAGO. We put it here in create. We are going to give it the same name here. We are going to call it WAGO and the IP 192.168.0.100. And well, now, if you don't know the IP of the WAGO, I recommend having this software, Wireshark, on hand. For example, here we are in Ethernet. I press it here and right now, well, I'm connected to the on the same network. What we are going to do is turn it off. Look, see how it turns off. And we are going to turn on our WAGO. And here, our equipment, our device should appear. See how they start to appear here. Here's the one from WAGO. Here it is. And here it is telling us that it has the IP 100.0.100. Okay? It's just like a piece of information. It's a very, very important software. And something we must do here is select the class we want to use. In this case, it is exclusive owner. And this part is also very important. We must consider the cards we currently have connected. So for example, if we go here to Web Base Management, we will go here to Ethernet IP. Remember it's admin and the password is WAGO in lowercase. We click next. Let's go to IO mapping. And if you notice, what it tells us here is the size that each of the cards occupies. In our case, we only have one output and digital card and one digital input card. Therefore, each of them has a size of 1 byte. Okay, so here we must indicate that we will only have a card, well, digital input cards and also digital output cards. And here in the size, we must indicate the quantity. If you notice, here we only have one. It is byte 0 and one that is byte 1. So we have a 1 and a 1 here. We are going to click OK. We are going to click OK and then click Close here. Now, the next step is to find our equipment. We are going to go here. Well, we are going to enter Carlos Upner here. It has already found our PLC. We are going to click on Download. We select that we do want to load and see how here it is. It is not in error. Here it is solid green. Therefore, we have communication with our equipment. Now we are going to go here to controller tags directly. We are going to the input section and see how we are receiving signal here. Let's put this on the left side and this, well, on the right side. And let's make this a little smaller. Here it is. Okay. See how here, well, we have the sensor. Here is the sensor, for example. Here, as you can see, it is sending a 0. There's the 0. Okay. Here's the sensor. And it's sending a 0. I bring my hand closer and it sends a 1. I move my hand away and it sends a 0. I bring my hand closer and it sends a 1. In fact, we can also visualize it here in this part. Here we have the input. For example, let's place the sensor. There's the 1 and there's the 0. Okay, so we already have communication with the equipment. We are already receiving the input signals from our first card through Ethernet IP with the WAGO coupler module. Now, what we are going to do is activate the outputs. If you notice, in this part, I'm going to bring the camera a little closer here. I'm going to move this to the right. See here how we have it connected. Here we have it connected to output 1, output 2, and output 3. The indicators, the signals of our indicator. This is our indicator. Look, here it is. Here I am going to turn one on and see how it lights up in green. And here it is. The first output is on. Now I am going to turn it off. Now let's turn on the next output. Well, sorry, it's the same one. The next one. there it is in red. Well, I don't know if it's distinguishable, but it is. It is red. And the last one, this is amber. Okay. And so in this way, we have seen that we have communication with our remote WAGO module. We have monitoring the inputs. We can also control our outputs. And well, it will be up to us to use the logic directly in our PLC, our programming. For example, here we could add a new, let's call it green tower. Let's add a coil now. Remember that it is 0.0. And well, here I have to turn this off. I'm going to turn all that off. For example, let's put this on the right side. If here I energize this, see how it turns on and off. That is the way we could access to those signals. Or we can also use the signal from our sensor directly. Here let's double click, update, and see how it's active there. Every time our sensor detects, it turns on. When it stops detecting, it turns off. I'm going to move the camera back a little. Detects, turns on, stops detecting, turns off. Detects, turns on, stops detecting, turns off. And in this way, we now have the monitoring and control of our WAGO equipment through Ethernet IP. Well, that will be all for this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you are not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and thank you all for the support. Thank you very much, and I hope you are doing well.